Understanding blockchain for insurance use cases, a practical guide for the insurance industry. Tonight's session will be on blockchain for insurance use cases, a practical guide for the insurance industry as written by the Risk Management Digital World Working Party. To start, I will briefly introduce myself. My name is Jasper Grewal and I will be chairing tonight's event. I am a general insurance actuary working for Arcus 1856, which is a Lloyd of London syndicate backed by Credit Suisse ILS. I am also a member of the Institute and Faculty of Actuaries Risk Management Board, which is what brings me here today. The Risk Management Board promotes, supports, and champions the interests of members working in risk management, whether in traditional roles or wider fields. A key part of this role is supporting and promoting the work done by working parties, such as the one presenting today. I would now like to introduce our three speakers for this evening. The first will be Darko Popovic. He is an actuary with extensive insurance industry experience, predominantly in risk and actuarial areas, gained through a mix of in-house and consultancy roles. He has worked across Europe, North America, and South Africa. He is currently a director at FTI Consulting, focusing on M&A transaction, business transformation, and strategy. He is the current chair of the IFOA, Risk Management in the Digital World Working Party. Following on from Darko, we will hear from Chadwick Ching. Chad is a life actuary with consulting and industry experience. He currently works at EY as a consultant and focuses on actuarial transformation, modeling, and M&A transaction. He is also a member of the Risk Management in the Digital World Working Party and one of the main authors of the paper being presented this evening. Our final speaker is Zixin Lim. He is an actuary specializing in asset liability management, model risk management, and investment risk. He is currently a senior manager at HCBC, providing investment risk oversight on retail and institutional investment funds. Zixin led the blockchain workstream on the risk management in the Digital World Working Party and is one of the main authors of the paper being presented. He became interested in blockchain while working on a central bank sentiment analysis model for the modeling, analytic, and insight from Data Working Party and has continued to closely follow the area. Before we start, I have to point out the usual disclaimer that these views are the views of the Working Party rather than the views of the IFOA or our employers. I want to spend 5 minutes giving an introduction about who we are and why we are presenting on blockchain. Our working party has been around for a couple of years. We focus on where risk management intersect with InsurTech. We have a mix of IFOA members and non-actuaries. Also, we are not just UK based. We have members from Ireland, New Zealand, and India. I strongly suggest that there is a lot of value in having international people on working parties for the additional perspective they bring. If you have seen some of us before, it is probably because we had a sessional event in October 2011 regarding our first phase of work. We believe the relevant frameworks have developed quite significantly over the past 10 years or so, mainly due to Solvency II in Europe but also across the rest of the world. At the same time, there has been a huge increase in investment in InsurTech and in focus on digital technology. Our initial question was whether the development of Ethereum blockchain-based distributed computing frameworks was facilitating or in any way contributing to the development of InsurTech. We produce a report which you are welcome to download. I think that there is also a recording which can be used for continuing professional development or CPD. It is entitled Improving the Success of InsurTech Opportunities. There are also some guidelines there about risk consideration relevant to this type of activities. We carried out a survey across the industry and also relied on interviews with industry experts. I have taken the first graph from a presentation on that study because it shows what led us to focus on blockchain. Shows a list of new technologies such as AI and machine learning, big data, and blockchain, among others, about which we asked two questions. Firstly, we asked whether you have heard of this concept. Secondly, would you be comfortable explaining them to your college or to a group of your peers? The survey was predominantly sent out to the IFOA community. As you can see from the figure, for the majority of the topics, almost everyone had heard of the concept. For example, 9 out of every 10 respondents had heard of blockchain at the time. But when it came to whether respondents felt comfortable explaining the concept to a college, the numbers dropped substantially. For blockchain, in particular, there was a considerable decrease, far more than for any other concept. Only about 40% of the respondents felt that they could explain this to college. It should be noted that this was among a self-selected group who were sufficiently interested to complete a survey on InsurTech and hence represent a likely overestimate versus the actuarial community at large. So we thought we should try to address this issue in phase 2. We haven't followed the approach of a normal sessional event, which tend to have a hypothesis and some result and then a conclusion. Instead, our aim is then after reading our paper, IFOA members will be able to explain to college what blockchain is and how it works. The paper has a focus on insurance and will cover some other elements more broadly. We also want people to have the ability to consider the various opportunities and risks involved at least at the high level. In addition, if they do choose to pursue an opportunity with this technology, at least to have some sort of framework in place that can help them to make the right decision in this area. That outlines the broad context of our work. We are going to follow the areas detailed in our paper tonight in this presentation. If you download the paper, please feel free to store it in the knowledge repositories in your companies and share it more broadly with your college. This research is only worthwhile if its message is spread and helps people. With that in mind, we will start with the educational aspect. Just to set the scene and expectation, the purpose of this section is not to deliver a crash course on blockchain in under 15 minutes. That would be impossible. What I would like to do is to demonstrate how a blockchain works, highlight the key differences between a blockchain and a database, and also introduce the key component in a typical blockchain. You will have across many different similar definitions of blockchain, all of which involve jargon that is difficult to understand. But in plain English, a blockchain is made up of multiple and identical copies of the same ledger shared by multiple parties. The status of the ledger is verified and agreed by all parties with a trusted intermediary. I think it is still very difficult to visualize what it is and how it works. So I would like to demonstrate how it works with a very simple example. In the interest of time, I have pre-selected 3 volunteers to help me with this demonstration. The goal is very simple. 3 of you, the volunteers, are to try to maintain a set of record in this network. Thank you.